Let us now discuss extracting square root. Extracting square root is a method on how to find roots in quadratic equation. So we know that the standard form of quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. When are we going to use extracting square root? We're going to use if the value of b is equal to 0. The question is, what if the value of b is equal to 0? Therefore, the quadratic equation will be in the form of ax squared plus c is equal to 0. If the value b is 0, now it is the time that we're going to use extracting square root. So, extracting square root is a method on how to find roots in quadratic equation. Now, let us proceed first on how to use a square root. So it is only a review. Now, let us have an example of square root of 49. Again, we have another square root of 81. We have square root of 4. We have square root of 100, square root of 121. Now, the function of the square root is you're going to think a number that if you multiply by itself, it will become the radicand inside the radical symbol or the square root. So therefore, if we have 49, so we're going to multiply 7 by itself. So 7 times 7, it will become 49. And there are two solution set. There are two answers. In multiplication of integers, if we multiply positive 7 times positive 7, it will become positive 49. Also, if we multiply negative 7 times negative 7, it will become positive 49. So therefore, the answer in square root of 49 is positive or negative 7. Or we can write also this as 7 or negative 7. Automatically, there is a positive here. Now, in number 2, square root of 81. So we know that if we multiply 9 by itself, positive 9 times positive 9, it will become 81. Negative 9 times negative 9, it will become 81. We can write this also as positive 9 or negative 9. Also in 4, if we multiply positive 2 times positive 2 will become 4, or negative 2 times negative 2, it will become positive 4. Also in 100, if we multiply positive 10 times positive 10, it will become 100, or negative 10 times negative 10, it will become positive 100. Also, in last example, if we have 121, so we have positive 11 times positive 11, it will become 121. Negative 11 times negative 11, it will become 121. So that is only a review about how we're going to use the square root. And now, let us have an example in finding roots of quadratic equation using extracting square root. If we have x squared minus 100 or negative 100 is equal to 0. So it is in the form of ax squared plus c is equal to 0 regardless if it is positive or negative. Now, if we have x squared minus 100 is equal to 0, we are going to use transposition method. We need to transpose 100 here. So it will become x squared is equal to negative will become positive if we transpose that. And then 0 from negative, it will become positive 100. 0 plus 100, it will become 100. So we need to eliminate square. By eliminating square in a variable, we need to get the square root. Because square root has an index of 2 here. So if the index and the exponent are the same, we need to divide that or simply cancel. So therefore, x will become, also if we get the square root of the left side, we need also to get the square root of the right side. So therefore, the square root of 100 is the same like this. In our example, the answer in number 1 is positive or negative 10. So that is the solution set or the value of x that satisfy the equation. If we change x here by positive 10, 10 times 10, because there's a square here, 10 times 10 minus, so 10 times 10 will become 100, minus 100, the answer is 0. So it satisfied the equation. Next, let us proceed for number 2. Again, the same. We need to transpose it to the right. So it will become positive 50. And then remaining here on the left side is 2x squared is equal to 50. And then, before you get the square root, we need to eliminate 2, the numerical coefficient 2 here, by dividing by itself 2. Also, divide the right side by 2 to make it equal. So therefore, we need to cancel it. And the remaining is x squared. And then 50 divided by 2 is 25. Therefore, again, to eliminate squared, we need to get the square root. Also, get the square root. So there is a 2 here. We need to cancel it. So therefore, x is equal to the square root of 25 is positive or negative 5 is the answer. Okay? Now, let us proceed with number 3. So we don't need to transpose it. It's already on the right side. Just divide or also by 4. So we need to cancel it. It will become x squared is equal to 64 divided by 4 is 16. And then, get the square root. Get the square root. So we have 2 here. And then x, we have the remaining of x. And the square root of 16 is positive and negative 4. So that will be, so that is the answer. And then for number 4, let us proceed with another example. Now for number 4, again, we need to transpose 100. So it will become 2x squared is equal to 0 plus 100. It will become 100. And then divide first by the numerical coefficient of 2 and 2. So cancel. We have x squared here. And then 100 divided by 2 is 50. So that's the quotient. 100 divided by 2 is 50. And again, get the square root. Get the square root. So therefore, we have 2 here. And x is equal to. The question is 50. What will be the, if you get the square root of 50, there is no number that if you multiply by itself, it will become 50. So what are you going to do? So we need to factor 50 by having a perfect square and not a perfect square. So we can factor 50 by 25 times 2. So 25 is a perfect square. There is a square root. And then 2, there is no square root. So what are you going to do? You're going to think a perfect square and not a perfect square. So therefore, 25 is a perfect square. There is a square root. So x is equal to, so you need to get the square root of 25 positive and negative 5 and then remain in the radical 2. So therefore, the final answer is positive negative 5 square root of 2. Thank you. I hope you learned a lot in my video. So try to answer number 5 and 6 and write your answer in a comment section. Thank you very much.